In recent years, Atlus has become a blockbuster RPG studio. Between the cult following of Persona 4 and the big blowout of popularity of Persona 5, more and more people are getting into Atlus's wide catalog of fantastic games. 2024 in particular has been a huge year for the studio, between Persona 3 Reload, Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance, and a brand new RPG by the director of Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne and the most popular Persona games, Katsura Hashino, called Metaphor ReFantazio, and it's bloody brilliant. Metaphor ReFantazio takes place in a classical medieval fantasy world named Ukrainia, where the main protagonist and his cute little fairy buddy Glacia are sent to assassinate the guy who comatose their good friend the prince, the magnificent bastard named Luis. As the prologue progresses, the duo learn they must travel through the world in a battle royale for the king's throne as they make bonds with their followers, grow their royal virtues, and learn more about the layered lore of the world. There's so much going on in this game, but all of it is super interesting and generally well written stuff. One of the very topics the game tackles is discrimination. We got all these tribes with their own rich histories who are all beefing with one another, which is made clear as day as your protagonist tribe, the Elda, is considered unholy by the major church of the world. Classism in fantasy RPGs is a mixed bag that can go south if not handled well, but I think Metaphor handles it with a lot of tact and emotional maturity to make it work, providing hard-hitting commentary for those who engage with it. As for the main cast of characters, while you still name and control the protagonist, he's not a silent protagonist, as even when you choose the dialogue options and talking scenes, he'll actually say words. He's not just a blank slate for you to insert yourself in, which is the case in other Atlus games with nameable protags, but Metaphor giving the protagonist a voice you'll be constantly hearing helps that distinction even more. Other major characters include Stroll, a hot-headed nobleman with a strong sense of justice that leads him to the battlefield unlike his noble peers, and Hulkenberg, a stoic knight who initially failed to protect the prince but comes back to battle after hearing there's hope for him. There's a lot more excellent characters to me, both playable and non-playable, but that would be diving too deep into spoilers, which I don't want to do right now. However, I would like to discuss another major theme in Metaphor, being reality versus fiction and how the two influence each other in interesting ways. For example, our protagonist is an avid reader with a fantasy novel given to him by the prince, implying to have shaped his ideals for a better future into what they are now. But it's not just the archetypical fiction that makes him strong, it's his followers and the bonds he makes with them in reality. You have to balance both your reality and your fantasy to overcome your fears and anxieties. Leaning on one or the other can be dangerous, leading you down a dark path of indifference. This theme is actually tied into the gameplay, as not only do you have the press turn system from Shin Megami Tensei being incorporated, but a unique job system exclusive to this game called Archetypes. You can unlock new archetypes when you meet new followers and strengthen your bond with pre-existing ones, much like how with every new person you meet, and the more you get to know them, you broaden your horizons on the world even by a little bit. I also like the fact that anyone in your party can use any archetype. It's like learning about a fun fact from someone else and sharing that knowledge with your friends. It's a great way of showcasing the themes of uniting together for a common cause through gameplay. Speaking of gameplay, if you're someone who complained about modern Persona games being too easy, oh boy, Metaphor is coming in to break your kneecaps. Even when I set the game on easy, I still needed to cheese the game systems to get by some of the hardest challenges. Not help that MP is also very scarce in this game. Don't take this the wrong way though, I'm a sucker for a good RPG challenge, and Metaphor provides that challenge quite well. I also like the little action sections you can do to defeat lower level enemies and stung bigger foes. Those make grinding much easier. Overall, I found Metaphor ReFantazio to be a fantastic game that takes the formulas of other Atlus games like Persona and SMT and provides their own unique but high quality twist on those mechanics, along with its own special fantastical sauce. Its storyline comments on hard-hitting issues, yet manages to be inspiring thanks to its heartfelt cast of characters. Check it out when you can, or at least give the free demo a whirl to see if you'll like it.